Hello, hello, gorgeous souls, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so pumped to be diving into this new moon in Aquarius with you. We're going to cover the astrology and the human design. We're going to get all the way into it. But the first thing I wanted to mention to you is that if you've been feeling something bubbling and something brewing, you're like, I don't even know what to do with this energy. Like there's been so much emotional energy, so much creative energy. You are going to know exactly how to start moving it forward. Like this illumination, this beautiful full moon in Aquarius is really going to kind of like kick you out of the box. So if you've been trying to fit yourself into a mold and you're like, this isn't working, something feels off, it doesn't feel right, like get ready for the revolution, because this is about us stepping like boldly forward, into the like innovative energy. It's like an innovation new moon. So I'm going to dive into the astrology first, show you the human design. I'll put the timestamps below. I know sometimes like I have a total brain fart and forget to do that. So I will remember to do that for you. And I also have like just so much exciting energy and information to share with you. I think you're going to feel like a different woman when this is all said and done. So for those of you who are brand new, I'm Tara Kindon. Welcome. I'm so grateful you are here. For those of you who are frequent flyers, welcome back. It is an honor and a pleasure to be in your vibes and to share this insight and information with you. I love to bridge the gap between the astrology, the human design, and the Venus star point. So all things Venusian. We talk about self-worth, self-value. We talk about your creativity. We talk about the way you magnetize things towards you and just how you can be more creatively, fearless and go for the things you're really wanting to do without worrying about all the things of how it's going to work and so on and so forth. So first up, let me share the chart with you for the astrology. You will see it here. This is the full moon in Aquarius at 9 degrees. It's 9 degrees and 15 minutes happening on August the 1st where I'm located. So work your chart back to your own location. There may be a little bit of a time difference. And first things first, these are transits. For those of you who are brand new here, I want to walk you through what's happening in the moment of these full moons, new moons, and those magical events. But you want to play this against your own chart to see like, how is this affecting you more personally? This is where going into readings and, getting really specific about your own chart so you really understand the fundamentals. It then gives you this as an overlay. Okay. This is just like what's happening in the moment, how the planets are moving, because every single day they move, even when planets are stationing, even when they're retrograding, they're still moving. They never just like hang out and don't move ever. So just knowing that gives you permission to explore parts of your emotionality. Sometimes you're just going to feel more emotional than other days. And that is what it is. And that's creative energy that can get channeled when you use it correctly. So let's look first here at Sun. Like we've got Sun, Venus, Black Moon, Lilith in Leo. Mercury will have moved on into Virgo, which is going to be good because that's kind of going to ground that communication. It's going to ground the information. Then we have Pallas Athene and we have Mars in Virgo. And this is about really like grounding that fire, grounding that passion, grounding that, drive to move it forward into the physical, into the reality, into where we are actually building something in this physical plane, where this Leo energy is about how we show up in our like ferocious feminine energy in the most beautiful, gregarious, sparkly, shiny energy. It's like where you are looking at the you who has maybe had her light dimmed, her shine dulled. She may feel stuck, stagnant. She may feel like, oh, like I'm not showing up and I know I should be, but I don't know how to. Well, something will be illuminated here for you to take a look at, because Moon in Aquarius is about doing things differently. It's very innovative. It's cutting edge. It's on the edge. It wants to live outside of the box. It wants to march to the beat of its own drum. It wants to have nothing to do with fitting in. It just wants to be creating be making things that are like super cutting edge. It's exciting. There is an exciting, electrifying energy that comes with Aquarius. Aquarius energy is here to lead us forward. It's here as a trailblazing energy to the future, if that makes sense. Like, yes, people will say Aries is the trailblazer and all that, but like, it's the Aquarius energy that's going to be what brings us the new technologies and the new ways of communication and the new ways of being in community and all these really fun things that we are desperately needing. So when we look at this chart, we see that, you know, Leo is pulling us up into the light, where the Aquarius is like, but how do we look differently in this light? I want to be different. I want to be more exciting. I want to be more me, you know, more authentically aligned with who you are and your beautiful design. That is this vibe and this frequency. We also have this opposition that's happening to Pluto, and you know, that's a little fierce and ferocious, if you will. And there is this square that's happening from Pluto over here to the North Node, and squares are all about tension. But also, if you think about needing to get up from a chair, you have a square, your knees are bent, you have to have that challenge to get up. So it's the same thing, this challenge of truth and depth and death, rebirth, and transformation needs to happen for us to beautifully step boldly forward into our future, you know. And that's Aries, that's the initiator, that's the getting things started, that's the fire it up and turn me on. And we look at that Chiron in Aries, which I know a lot of you who watch these have natal Chiron in Aries, which is about healing our self-identity, healing who we are, healing how we show up, where we've been holding ourselves back, parts of ourselves that we have felt guilty, shameful, and all the things that we're working on releasing that garbage. We're working on releasing the confines or the prisons that we've kind of placed ourselves in. So if you have a Chiron in Aries, my friend, I can relate. I feel your pain and I see you, you know, doing the work, doing the thing. You may be like, I have been doing this work for forever. It feels like I should be done with this. You are. You're just doing it in a different way, because every time you grow and expand and evolve and hit that next level, there is new pieces of the pain points to look at, and you're looking at them through a new lens, and you're able to see it differently. You have more power, you have more potential, because you've allowed yourself to grow. Those who don't grow stay stuck, stay stagnant, don't make choices, don't make decisions. If you're one of those people, like, you will feel so frustrated, so angry, so impossible, and you lose your sense of self the more you stay stuck and don't make a choice. Because when we stay stagnant long enough, we lose faith in ourselves and we don't trust ourselves anymore to make a decision. So then we get stuck. So I hope when you watch these, if you're feeling like that, that this just breaks that free. It helps you to see, like, any choice is a good choice because it's a choice forward. You know, when you don't make choices and stay stuck, all you're doing is diminishing your creative powers to change where you're at. So allow yourself the permission to try something, throw spaghetti at the wall, see what works. If you need to break free from something, go for it. There's no better time than right now. And let me just head on over to the human design chart, because, and I made it a little bit more beautiful, less distracting, keep it simple. So when we're in the vibes of this full moon, we are getting this emotional generator energy, which is like, get the things done. We get that frequency of, you know, lighting up like a lighthouse, being a beacon of light for other people. This emotional definition or authority is about feeling the waves of emotion, tapping in, tuning in to what it feels like to let our emotions have a chance to speak to us. When we're making decisions and we're an emotionally defined person, we must trust our feelings. And more often than not, you've been told, don't trust your feelings, don't be emotional, you're too emotional, you're over emotional, you're so sensitive. But if that's how you're defined, that's like a sin against your soul to not look at your emotions, because they're speaking to you to tell you something. And I think all of us are getting a really big experience this year about what it feels like to be emotionally defined, because so many of these charts have been emotionally defined. So when we've got this profile of the 2-4, this is about wanting to recluse a little bit, retreat a little bit, to go in, to come out. And when we're coming out, we come out with the people that we really trust. That 4 is about putting ourselves in situations where we're with a tight network of people who we trust, who support us, who value us, and who want the best for us. And that is like, find your power posse is kind of the thing I thought, find your power posse, connect in with those people who support you, who love you, who appreciate you, who value you. If you don't have them, just being here, comment in these videos and connect with your people, because they are here with you. I promise you. So now let's look at the sun. Okay. The sun is up here. We've got the earth, north node, south node, moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And I forgot to put Chiron on here, but I will note Chiron today because it's really important. He plays a very big role in the healing of the energy of this chart. So let's start off with the centers. We've got a lot of open, undefined energy, which is where we're really, depends on who we're around, who we're with, and how we'll experience this energy. If you have this openness natally, you're really gonna feel at home and comfortable. If you have some of these defined, but you're experiencing the transits of what it could feel like, allowing yourself to express it. But when you have definition, you know how you integrate this energy. So for example, I have an emotionally, my emotional solar plexus is undefined. So getting this definition is going to give me a better sense of my emotions potentially, or it can make me very emotional. So it just depends on how we interpret it and integrate it. So whatever it is for you, let it be. But remember to always check yourself before you wreck yourself, in case you're about to, make some decisions that need a little bit more time. When you're emotionally defined, you need time to process and follow the moon, follow how do you feel emotionally in the day, in the moment. Now, remember, of course, this is all my interpretation. Every single person you listen to is going to define these things differently, explain them differently. Take what resonates, throw out the rest, and make your own decisions. Ultimately, you are the boss of you, and you must lead yourself accordingly. If you can't trust in yourself, there's no need to listen to anybody else, because you'll never make a decision anyways. So here's how to avoid that, is to go all in on you. So when we look at where the sun is in gate 33, this is about retelling. This is the gate of retelling. What is the story that you are telling about yourself to the world and to other people? Here's how this shows up. What does your social media say about who you are, what you've been through, where you're going? That's a story. That's a story. When you introduce yourself, or people say, well, how's your day going today? And you're like, oh, this is going wrong, that's going wrong, blah, blah, blah. This is a story that you're repeating to yourself and to everyone else over and over and over. If you do not like the story you're telling, you get a chance here to revise it, remodel it, renovate it. That's what Venus retrograde, she's inviting us to do, is look at things differently. Now, to feel grounded during this full moon, we really want to be tuned into our environments, okay? Tuning into your environment is where the moon will be as well. This is the gate of attunement, gate 19. Gate 19 runs off of the root center, and this is about, for those of you who just you have this natally, you're hypersensitive to fighting, you're hypersensitive to arguing, you are an animal person, you are very connected to the animal kingdom, and you can almost feel the sensitivities of your, furry friends. And this is a beautiful gift, is to be able to tune in to the environment that you're in, to the energy that you're in. One thing I really noticed about this full moon is a very penetrating. There's a very aura busting, penetrating, emotionally tuned in, or attuning into the energies that be during this full moon. So you may feel far more tuned in, tapped into your higher self, higher power, whatever you want to call it. You're just going to be like zoom right on in there and taking time to go in, like trust. Where do you not trust yourself? Ask yourself this. Where have you, if somebody was like, oh, you're too sensitive or you're too whatever, where did you let that stick? And where is it time to be like, I'm an emotional person and that's totally fine. And, you know, this is how I roll. This is how I feel everything. And I sense in and let it be. If somebody said that to you and it's really affecting you, and you've stopped letting yourself feel all the things, it's time for you to create some boundaries around what you're willing to listen to and what you're not. And also to not get overwhelmed by the emotion, which we'll talk about creative outlets and ways to move it. So we are all hyper tuned in. We feel all the feels. We're sensing everything that everybody else needs, but we need to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves and our own energy first by grounding ourselves in and down, taking time away from everyone else and the chaos that is life to check in. How do I feel right now? How do I feel today? How do I feel around this person? How do I feel watching this video? Like, if it feels bad, turn it off. If it feels great, then lean in, my friend. It's totally your call, up to you. And I want you to own that. Like if things feel funky, ask yourself what's going on. Tap in. All right, North Node is here in the gate 3, which is right here. This is the gate of innovation. And this is where I'm going to talk to you about the Chironic connection, because Chiron is hanging out in gate 60. Okay, so is Pluto. Now, this is interesting because, Pluto and my Chiron is in the gate 3. That's why I'm telling you this about Chiron, but that is not for you. So in the gate 3 right now is the North Node. Pluto is in the gate 60, and Pluto's been hanging out there for some time now, but there's this really beautiful connection to innovation. So gate 60 is the gate of conservation. Gate 3 is the gate of innovation. And this is where I was mentioning to you before, because this is now creating a channel. And this is the channel of, some people will call it mutation, some people will call it innovation, but this is where, you know, we really get to lay the foundation of innovation. So if you have had an opportunity to see something that's really working for you, this is a way to fine tune it, okay? Fine tune it, find the elements that are working, that are really helping you move the things forward, and just be aware of the challenge that needs innovation and to address it, like with the respect of what's come before it. You don't need to throw everything out the window. It's just like, what's working with the thing you're trying to do, and how can you continue to innovate it in a new way without burning it all down? This is that you don't need to burn it all down. You know, this idea of old paradigms needing to die before a new one can be born, that's not true. Let's build on, let's stand on the shoulders of those who came before us so we can, you know, continue to elevate and grow. So in your life right now, you know, what is working? Focus your energy and attention on that so you can continue to evolve it and grow it in a very innovative way. That's the vibe with that North Node up in the 3 and Pluto in the 60, making that connection for all of us, okay? South Node is in the gate 50, and this is about nurturing. For those of you who are overgivers, overdoers, overachievers, over everythingers, and I'm pretty sure that's not even a word, but it just felt really good. So yeah, if you're doing all of those things and you've not been fueling yourself, this is a battle cry to go in, to take care of yourself, and then to show the people. So the other side is the gate 27, and that's where the North Node is unconsciously. Now, we haven't really talked about unconscious, conscious, but just so you know, the connection here, the energy that you may feel is this real big pull to be like, I can't do everything for everyone all the time and still have energy for myself. How can I empower them to be able to do things for themselves. Because when we do it all for everybody else, we actually circumvent their opportunity for growth and evolution. We don't give them a chance to stand on their own 2 feet in their power. Part of our work here is to be able to put ourselves in our power so we can then inspire others to also want to do the same thing. You can't force them to do it, but you can stop overdoing, over-nurturing, over-giving so that they learn how to do it. So for those of you who needed to hear that, do with it what you will, but it is really important to be conscious of this. Now, Mercury is in the gate 59, which is in the gate of sustainability. Now, this is the gate of sustainability. You see this energy lighting up the soul, the sacral. So that's our life force, workforce, energy, that drive, that ambition. This is like, how sustainable are we if we're constantly running around taking care of everybody else? Well, we're not. We just don't have that life force energy. So if you're feeling exhausted, if you're feeling tired, this is a beautiful moon to check in. And you might even see like, ooh, yeah, this is where I need to pull back a little bit. And I need to kind of like fill up my own cup again, because it's so easy for those of you who are here. And I know you because you're here often. You have this ability to really tune into the people around you and almost like bust through their auric energy to see, oh, that person could use this, or that person could use this. And then just to relinquish your power and relinquish your own need for things to take care of everyone else. Like, this is going to be such an awakening for so many of you, and you're going to see it for what it is. And then I hope that you do something with it, because it's important you kind of cut it out. It's draining your energy, it's draining your vitality, and it's time for you to devote yourself to you. And next up is Venus, who is in the gate of devotion. She is here as well on that sacral energy saying, what would you like to devote yourself to? Where would you like to devote your energy back to you? So Venus is more than just love. She's teaching us about self-worth, self-value, how we attract things towards us, how we're more magnetic, how we, what we want in a partner, what we desire. She teaches us about our money. When we talk about value, it's like, if you're not charging enough money for your services, like, this may be somewhere you want to devote your energy and effort, is into your value. Like, I'm so much more valuable than I give myself credit for. And having those conversations with yourself to say, what do I want to devote myself to? She's retrograde for 40 days. So we're probably like 37 days left now. But you're going to come up in the next couple of weeks to the Lionsgate portal, which I feel like is such a lioness, fierce vibe of really owning your creative powers. And we have a Venus star point that's going to initiate in Leo on the 13th of August. So this is all coming, and this is all like, clean up your act so you can be ready to hold the energy of this creative endeavor you're about to step into, where you need to own your stage, own your magic, own your power, and no apologizing for that anymore. So Mars is in the gate 64, which is the gate of divine transference up here. And this is, you're getting lots of insights. So many ideas. You might not know what to do with them all, but also just like letting those little insights come in without feeling the pressure to do something with it, or figuring out how. Like, what do I do with this? How do I do this? Don't worry about it. Just, if you've got insights coming in, write them down. Again, a lot of you are getting some very vivid dreams. What do you do with them? You don't need to worry about that. Write them down. Some of you are having some very healing, transformative experiences while you're sleeping. And the reason for this is that your subconscious is healing it for you, because your conscious mind can't handle it. It's just like way too much. So let those things happen while you're sleeping, and wake up with gratitude. Wake up with a sense of gratitude, like, wow, that was really weird, but thank you. Thanks for fixing that while I've been sleeping. Now, Jupiter is in the gate 2, which is the gate of allowing. And I love this gate because it just reminds us to lean back Let universe hold you and support you while you move through all this really big shit. Because there's a lot of big stuff we're working through. And sometimes you just need somebody to be like, I got you. I got you. It's okay. Carry on. This is that gift of like, follow your passions, baby. I've got you. We're going to figure out the finance side of things. We're going to figure it out. But just like the more you can do you, the more can flow. And I wrote this thing the other day about co-creation. I'm going to just like drop it here because I feel like some of you really need to hear this. But it was the idea as like, we are co-creators with the universe, you know, and whether you, universe, God, source, whoever, you speak to whoever, okay? But like our job is to just try to really be that clean and open vessel to receive these ideas, these creative inspirations, you know, and to let our emotions get behind it. Because this is the emotional solar plexus is the most creative center in the chart. This is where we can channel all of those feelings. Like, remember, thoughts create the feelings create the frequency. Whatever you're emitting in the frequency creates a calibration, which creates the manifestation. And I think that, you know, when we forget to lean into how do we feel about stuff, I'm like, I don't know what to do with all these feelings. We'll put them into some kind of outlet creatively, whether that's through writing, how you dress, how you express yourself, your social media, your art forms, like whatever it is, it can be beautiful and it can be easy. So that we're this open vessel for this creative life force energy to flow through us, you know, and it's our job to really look for it, to seek it, these opportunities, you know, to be creative, to ground it in and down, and then to let it move through us, you know, however it desires to move through you. And then remembering that like whatever is coming isn't yours to own. It's yours to share. And this is where we get into that, like, oh, I don't want to tell anybody about this because like somebody might steal it. But if it's meant for you, it's meant for you. And it's being gifted to you to do something with it. And when you hold on to it and you hoard it, that's when there's no ability to receive abundance, to receive appreciation, to receive gratitude, love, all the things, because it hasn't had a chance to get any legs. You haven't given it any legs to be shared out in the world. And the more you tune into this creative energy, the more you share your gifts, talents, and skills that were gifted to you. No one else can do what you can do. It is only you. Like your ability to create from the life experiences you've had, from the education that you've had, from the upbringing you've had, all of what makes you different and unique. It's like, how can you embody that even more? Well, if you get an idea and you're excited about it and the emotional energy is a hell yes, then honey, you better run with that and get it out to the world when it feels so right. When it just feels exciting and good and you're like, yeah, now's the time, then do it. What is the worst thing that happens? Maybe nobody sees it. Maybe it goes on, you know, it doesn't go the way you want it to go, but it will lead you to the next thing. And the more you follow the breadcrumbs, the more opportunity will come, the more experiences open up for you. Okay, so allow the things to happen. Saturn, who's the boss, who's authority, who's structure, who's all the things, is sitting in gate 55, the gate of faith, asking us to have faith in ourselves, faith in what we're creating, and faith in the bigger process. How can we just get excited and more creative? You know, the things that we bring out into the world, they're our legacy. You know, what a beautiful way to know that you're doing something powerful for the world, even if it feels like you're just a small speck of sand. You're more than that. And you're whatever it is that's in you that needs to come out. It's like, it's so important. It's your job to share it. Don't hoard it, because more gifts will come to you when you share it. Okay, Uranus, who's that rogue entrepreneur doing things a little wild and crazy. He's up here in gate 23. And this is just, you know, sometimes the transmissions that we're receiving, it's very easy for us to have words to go with it. Sometimes we're like, And when there's an open throat involved here, if you have an open throat normally, natally in your chart, communication, being able to speak your words can sometimes be challenging. So just remember this, that your words have power. They also help with this feelings process. Like when you speak it into action, sometimes it just like gives you that exciting jolt. And, the words you speak have so much power that they're not for everyone. These are pearls of wisdom that need to be shared only with the people who deserve them. That's not everybody. Okay? So remember that. Remember that this specifically for this full moon. Chiron is in the gate 51, which is the gate of shock, the gate of initiation. And it's just like, rest assured that you will never get off track. Nothing will ever be for naught. Everything you do when you make choices and move forward will always be leading you to the next big, beautiful thing. It might not be big. It might not be big. It may be small, but it's like those small little breadcrumbs lead you to the next beautiful opportunity. So pay attention to that. Gate 36 is where Neptune is, and that's the gate of exploration, which also runs off the emotional solar plexus. Emotional energy is a really, really big key to this chart, to this energy, and it's about responding to things. When we're dealing with this emotional generator energy, regardless of your design, always, not regardless, always go to your own design and follow your own strategy, but just know there may be like a flavor of this, like you're playing with a flavor of responding. Well, oh, this came into my world. Like, what do I want to do with this? And let yourself like go to your authority to feel into what could be possible for you here. And some people don't resonate with their design. So if you don't resonate with your design, look at your profile and see, how does the profile resonate for me? So I'm going to stop that share. Boom. You see how there is so much in this chart that's calling you forward to really step into you. What does you look like? What do you want to devote your energy to? What do you want to devote yourself to? And for those of you who want to go deeper into your own Venus star point, because we are going to get hit with the Leo VSP come August 13th, I want to, give you a beautiful opportunity and way to go deeper into your own magnetism with your VSP. So I'm going to do a special reading deal for those who want to have a reading with their Venus star point, where I will email you a video of your Venus star point, or if you want to go even further, to add your natal Venus to give you this expression of your self-value, self-worth, magnetism, abundance, really stepping into that personal power piece of embodying your Venus, like really stepping forward into that magical part of yourself that just feels like, woo, and so creative. I mean, Venus is all about our creativity, that emotional solar plexus and that creativity. It is time for the creatives to set themselves free, to break out of the boxes that they've jammed themselves into, and to boldly go where they've never gone before in a lovingly beautiful, abundant, generous, exciting way. So thank you so much for being here. Again, I am just beyond myself, so excited that people keep watching these, and let me know what else you want. Let me know what else you would love to see on this channel. Do you want more information on creativity? Do you want more information on like how to follow your Venus? Like, what do you want? Tell me. I'm open to hearing your beautiful questions and seeing how that, feels for me. So everyone, have a fabulous full moon in Aquarius. Make the best of it. Make sure to write down your wishes. Like, I know we say don't write wishes on a full moon, but it's like, what do you need to release? But also writing wishes from a place of gratitude. So like, I'm so grateful that my social media following has exploded to 100,000 people. Thank you so much. One of my favorite books for full moon wishes is by, I'm going to butcher this again, Kaiko. And of course, I don't have that book here, but it's called The Power Wish. and it's a great book. So that one, it's a great one. I'll put the link below so you can check it out. So thank you everyone again. Take care, and I'll see you on the next video.